Hey guys, Tony Denaro here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about Cosmos Holdings, ticker symbol COSM. This has been a fantastic play if you've been in it in the past couple weeks, but there are a lot of questions about what is the real short interest on COSM. How high could it possibly go? We're going to answer your questions. Let's get right into it. Okay, so if you're trading COSM or following this stock, you've probably seen this chart from S3 showing that the short interest is now 1,999%. Is that true? And I want to be very transparent in this video. I am not against COSM. We've been following it on the channel and in the Discord. People have been trading it. It's been a fantastic momentum play. Last Friday, a week ago, I called it the trade of the week. For this previous week, it was around 40 cents and it ran up 100% to over 80 cents. So nothing against COSM. But on this channel, we do like to make sure that you guys have the most accurate information, the factual information, so that when you're hearing people give you price targets like $100, that you know what the real information is and that you make smart trades and get out of them profitable and not become a bag holder. One thing that I think is critical for you guys to do to become smart traders, to not become bag holders, is always question things, especially if it sounds too good to be true. When you're seeing things like 600% short interest, 1,000%, 1,999%, you should stop and question that data. I don't care who it is coming from. Check multiple sources. Are they showing you a photo? Do you have other sources that back up that data? Are there 20 different sources and only this one is giving you that little bit of hopium that you want? If 19 out of 20 show you something different, you should stop and pause and question the data. That is my approach. So when this messaging came out a couple weeks ago that the short interest for Cosmos might be 611%, I went out and checked my sources, and then I wanted to double check my own self and asked the gentleman, what are you using for the free float to calculate this percentage? We knew what the short interest was. I wanted to know what is he using for free float, and then I could check his percentage. And here is the answer that I got from him. Yes, S3 was calculating the 611% short interest off of a float of less than 1 million shares, 0.92 million to be exact. Now, I have seen this many, many times before where we get these astronomical short interest percentages, and they always revolve around someone having bad data on the free float, usually due to a prospectus or a shelf offering that they did not include. And since that free float didn't come anywhere close to all of the other data sources that I regularly use, the next thing that I did was say, okay, was there a shelf offering that maybe he's just not including? Maybe his data feed is not up to date. And yes, there was this article here on October 18th, a upsized public offering, $7.5 million. And if we look at this press release, we get the details, 62,500,000 shares, and that the closing of the offering is expected to occur on or about October 20th, 2022. Needless to say, when you're adding 62.5 million shares and 62.5 million pre-funded warrants, and your previous outstanding shares had been 25.98 million, that is a substantial increase in the outstanding shares and the free float. And you can see here on this chart what that looks like. Now let's look at the dates and what happened with the short interest. I want you to notice the correlation here at the end of this chart, how when that new offering was completed, the short interest went up dramatically. You can see it here pictorially, or you can also see it over here in the table. It went from 746,000 shares to 5.8 million shares. That gave us at the end of October a short interest of around 11% with 5.8 million shares shorted. And now with the most recent update that we have, 6.5 million shares short, that gives us a short interest of just over 13%. And I know you're going to say, but Tony, we're still getting YouTube videos and tweets and Reddit posts saying that the short interest is 1,999%. Tony, I don't believe you. You're FUD. Okay, I get it. You don't know me. And you want to hear from the original OGs, the people who are putting out the numbers. What is the updated short interest? Guys, I've been asking them. You can see the tweets. and you should ask them also. Curiously, Will Mead, one of the original folks on Twitter who was putting out these super high short interest percentages, as well as Ihor from S3, neither one of them have been heard from on Twitter since late November. I've been asking, but I did find a post on Will Mead's Substack. S3 data just changed the short interest on COSM to 13%. That is the best that I can give you for one of these OGs putting out the data. Please, guys, go ask them on Twitter. Respond to my tweet. Go ask them yourself. You want an update. Why won't they provide you an update? There's just no reason when you put out misinformation, whether it was purposeful or accidental, that you can't follow up on Twitter saying, hey guys, the data changed. Here is the correct information. I'm sorry. Okay, so that was a very long explanation of the type of due diligence work that I do and that I did weeks ago on this play, and why I've been saying for weeks that the short interest on COSM was not 600 or 2,000%. But you want to know, is this a good play? What can we do going forward if you're in this play? What could a price target be for COSM? It's been a fantastic trade. If you got in early, shout out to everybody who called this play out weeks ago. You know, sub 20 cents. It ran all the way up to 80 cents. We will take that type of momentum trade all day long. Booyah, and let's go make that money. But what about going forward? Lots of talk about the December 2nd shareholders meeting where a reverse split was supposed to be on the table. I have not seen any updates about that just yet. If I do, I'll make sure and put a tweet out, or if it's worth a video, I'll do that for you. There was a press release, however, on December 2nd talking about a summary regarding recent share activity and the company reiterating its belief and commitment to the strength of the company. Guys, I'll read it to you very briefly, but none of us care about the financial strength of the company. Everybody was in this play for a short squeeze based on astronomical short interest percentages. So yes, the CEO's been buying shares. He has no intention to sell them. Yes, they've done some offering and raised $13.5 million over the course of this year by selling shares. Great. But none of us are in this play because of the CEO buying shares or the financial position of the company. So interesting press release, but we don't really care about that. We don't do short squeeze / momentum trades based on the fundamental financial strength of the company. That type of analysis of the fundamentals and the financials of the company is absolutely critical if you're planning to hold for a long time this stock. But if you're just swing trading it or momentum trading it, we only need to look at the chart. Now, weeks ago, when I knew that the short interest data that everyone was relying on was incorrect, I told my folks, play the momentum on this because everybody is all hyped up with the incorrect information, and we can trade off of that. But we need to have realistic price targets, not this $100 price targets, because it's going to be the biggest squeeze in history. I am a very small channel and not very many people are going to get this information. So this is still a very viable momentum trade. There's going to be still tens of thousands of people that think that the short interest is 2,000% and it's not going to have a reverse split. And this could still be a great trade going into next week. With this reverse split looming and not knowing exactly what date that it's going to go into effect, it's going to be critical for you to keep up with the news or subscribe to this channel so that you get the updates. And in the meantime, this could still be a really good trade going into next week. What I do is keep an eye on the daily chart and the hourly, as well as the volume. Some of you are just trading it hour to hour, minute to minute. Some of you are swing trading it from day to day. Whichever method you're doing, that is awesome, but you need to keep an eye on the momentum and the volume and make sure that you have reasonable price targets, knowing that it's not a 2,000% short squeeze play. I plan to do some live streaming next week, getting back to the old schedule where we're live streaming day trades and momentum plays. Hopefully I will see you on the live stream. Again, if you are not subbed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you got value out of this and you learned something about the process that I use for cross-checking multiple data sources, not just listening to one clickbait or hopium YouTuber or person on Twitter. My goal always is to help you become a better trader, make rational, emotionless decisions, and always question everything, even me. In fact, if you have questions, drop them down in the comments below. I want to thank you for watching. Again, I am Tony Denaro, and I will see you on the next video.
So you wanna go to